I'm Roman Yossi of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Dante Fabro of the Nashville Predators.
This is Philip Forsberg of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Colton Sissons of the Nashville Predators.
I'm Eustace Aros of the Nashville Predators.
You're listening to the Renegades of Puck
with Crazy Charlie.
Welcome to the Bunker. Welcome to the Renegades of Puck podcast. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier. And before we get started on the No Half Step in hockey coverage, first let me direct you to our home website, renegadesofpuck.com. Once you go to renegadesofpuck.com, you learn everything you need to know about the show. Once you're good and educated about the show, you can click on that merchandise tab. Take you straight to our classic logo t-shirt, our Pride logo t-shirt, all of our different special event t-shirts, and so much more. All the gimmicks you come to know and love and expect from Renegades of Puck are still available in our online store, whether that's socks, throw pillows, wall art, bed sets, or so much more. Something like 88 different items in our online store with our logo on it. It's best said we've sold out so that you can buy in. Social media is of critical importance to this operation, so here's how you can support the Renegades of Puck. Please check us out on Instagram or Facebook, perhaps X or Threads. We're on all of those different social media platforms and several others. So just search Renegades of Puck in your preferred social media platform today. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it certainly doesn't take you but a second to give us a like on one of those social media platforms. You can find us on YouTube, and we sure would appreciate some more subscribers, and we sure do appreciate our recent subscribers on our YouTube channel. Just search Renegades of Puck. You'll find full episodes of Renegades of Puck TV. You'll find full recaps. You'll find previews, all of our different interview segments, all of it right there, nice and organized on some great playlists. We've been at it for a long time over there on our YouTube channel, so we would appreciate if you would come on over and help us out and celebrate Renegades of Puck on video as well as on audio and in the audio format. Thanks to the Full Press Predators podcast and the Full Press NHL Network, we are going from local to global from last year to this year, and the momentum is continuing. Quarter four numbers are out, Renegades, and while that's not of much significant interest to you, it's of much significant interest to me, and I got to tell you, stick taps, love, and respect to each and every one of you who has checked out the show, listened, whether you listen on a regular basis or you just drop in from time to time to check out maybe an opposing team or two. I sure do appreciate each and every one of you. Our quarter four numbers 2023 were exceptional, and we are off to a great start. Quarter one 2024, I don't like talking about analytics and stuff like that, but I do love talking about the Full Press NHL Network and how big that has been for this show right here. So sure to appreciate everyone out there as we are approaching 10 million all-time downloads and replays in show history. You can find this audio podcast that I'm going on and on about on a number of different platforms: Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon, just a couple to name a couple. How about that? Search Renegades of Puck in your preferred platform today and check out the show. Venmo, that's how you can support the show. Listen, how wild. First of all, scan the QR code that's currently on your screen or search Renegades of Puck in Venmo. How wild that just a week ago we were sitting right in this very spot. It was 1 degree outside and it was 30 degrees inside the studio, and now it is 61 degrees just outside the walls, and it is very, very warm and very, very humid inside. We have got to do something about the temperature control system here in the bunker, in the studio. If we want to continue being successful as we are building and growing, we're going to have to protect our equipment. We're going to have to protect the host and everything else involved with the show. So if you can make a donation, every dollar is going to go towards building our brand new HVAC system, extension system, whatever it is that we've got to put together. We haven't even figured it out yet. We're just starting to collect some donations right now to get the project underway. So again, thank you so much to Captain Love and Respect Renegades. You've really come through and helped us over the years with several of these huge projects. It is simply too much for this small independent operation to take on by ourselves. If you're a company out there, though, you want to do some sponsorship on the show, you got an HVAC company and you want to get some free advertising on the show, just let us know. Get in sponsorship with us. Get in touch with the show, and we will happily do some business with you. Wow. That's a lot of information I just gave you. So let's get to the No Half Step in hockey coverage without delay. Now, you won't have to slow this one down. I'm going to give it to you full speed, and I'm going to give you a ton of information because this isn't a Hockey 101 show, and you guys know exactly what you're in for. Thank you for jumping in the trench. Time for Operation number 862. That's right, time for show number 862. And at this moment in hockey history, the Nashville Predators currently find themselves in fourth place in the Central Division after 48 games skated. They have a record of 26-21-1, 53 points. Has them 12 points shy of first place, which is the Winnipeg Jets in first. We'll update the Central Division standings here momentarily. We'll also update the wild card standings. We'll be doing that on a regular basis here on the show. The Nashville Predators currently find their road record, which they are about to be on game 2 of a 3-game road trip. Their road record is now at 13-9-1. They've scored 147 goals in the season. They've given up 148. That means they have a goal differential of -1 on the year. Now, I mentioned we have multiple updates and standings to talk about right here. Let's start with the Central Division. The Winnipeg Jets continue to lead in first place. They have 30 victories on the season, 11 losses, 5 overtime losses, and 65 points. They are 12 points currently ahead of the Nashville Predators. The Colorado Avalanche also have 65 points, but have skated in 2 more games than the Winnipeg Jets, so they currently occupy the second spot. And the Dallas Stars have 64 points. So the 3-team weave at the top of the Central continues as Winnipeg, Colorado, and Dallas are separated first to third by 1 point. The Dallas Stars have also skated in 48 games on the season, so the Winnipeg Jets have the tiebreaker right now with 46 games skated. And you'll find the Nashville Predators at 53 points. Now listen, they are 9 points behind third place, which is an automatic qualifying playoff spot. They are currently holding a wild card spot. They are 3 points ahead now of the St. Louis Blues, who have jumped over the Arizona Coyotes into 5th place. The Coyotes in 6th place with 49 points. The Minnesota Wild in 7th place with 47 points. And the Chicago Blackhawks have finally reached the 30-point mark on the season. They are in 8th and last place in the Central, which is where they are going to remain the entire season. That's the Central Division, but this is where things start to get really intriguing. The Nashville Predators currently hold themselves a wild card spot. LA holds wild card 1, Nashville wild card 2, each team with 53 points. And oh, by the way, nice head-to-head matchup coming up here very soon. It is St. Louis on the outside looking in 3 points back, then Arizona 4 points back. So for the Nashville Predators, looking to keep the Central Division chase pack off of them right now is of critical importance, and that's exactly what they were able to do in this most recent game against the Minnesota Wild. Now, for the Nashville Predators, I mentioned second of 3 games on the road. The third game will take place Monday night in Ottawa. First time the Nashville Predators will face off against the Sens this year. Back home on Wednesday to face off against the LA Kings. And then time to take a short break. That's also the end of January, so we will pick things back up on February the 10th versus the Arizona Coyotes, on February the 13th versus the New Jersey Devils, then on February the 15th versus the Dallas Stars. So a big 3-game homestand coming out of the break. For the Nashville Predators and the Edmonton Oilers, which is the next game for the Preds. This will be the third and final regular season meeting, and it is very much possible that these two teams could find themselves in a best of 7 come springtime, which is much closer than you might think at this point. Let's go back to October the 17th, which is when the Oilers were in Nashville and absolutely wiped the Preds out of their own rink in this game back in October. It was a 6-1 victory for the Oilers. UC Saros had to be pulled after giving up 4 goals, only going 7 out of 11. He does take the loss. Lankinen came in and put up respectable numbers the rest of the way, 17 out of 19, but still gave up 2 goals. Tommy Novak scored the only goal for the Preds, and this is going to take a while to go through all the Oilers scoring, but it was Draisaitl that did most of the damage. 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points. Hyman also had 4 points. Nugent Hopkins had 3 points. McDavid had 2 points in that game. Just an incredible offensive onslaught by the Edmonton Oilers. It was Campbell picking up the victory, 43 out of 44 against the Nashville Predators, one of the very, very few that he was able to pick up for the Oilers. And it was on November the 4th when the Preds went into Edmonton for the first time this season and secured a 5-2 victory. It was Lankinen getting the start, picking up the victory, going 33 out of 35. So Lankinen played in the first 2 games now. That will leave some decision-making for Andrew Brunette. O'Reilly had 3 goals and an assist for 4 points in that game in Edmonton. Tommy Novak had a goal and assist for 2 points. Philip Forsberg also chipped in with 3 points. Campbell got the start in that game against the Preds as well. Took the loss in that one. 29 out of 34. It was Hyman and Nurse scoring the goals for the Edmonton Oilers. So the Preds, going into the third meeting of the season against the Edmonton Oilers, have a 1-1 record. They've lost on home ice and they've won on the road. This third meeting of the season is taking place on the road. They've secured 2 out of 4 points on the season. They've been outscored 8-6 by Edmonton. Believe me, that all looks and sounds a whole hell of a lot better than after that first game when Draisaitl and the Oilers wiped the Preds out of their own rink 6-1. Now, let's take a look at the Edmonton Oilers. Then we'll take a look at the individual matchup. The Oilers are, without a doubt, the single hottest team in the National Hockey League right now. They have won 15 consecutive games, and they are winning with ease as of late. Their overall record on the season is 28-15-1. 57 points has brought them from near the basement of the Pacific Division and a bit of a laughing stock just a few weeks ago to third in the Pacific and currently occupying an automatic qualifying playoff spot. On home ice, the Edmonton Oilers are 15-6-1, one of those losses being to the Nashville Predators. They've scored 156 goals. That's not much of a surprise. They've given up 123, a goal differential of plus 33. Once they got the goaltending situation worked out, the numbers have certainly gone in a great direction for this Oilers team. Now, I'm not going to go back and recap all 15 consecutive games in this current winning streak, but I will do one-third of that. I'll go back and talk about the previous 5 for the Oil. On the January the 16th, it was a 4-2 win versus Toronto. On the 18th of January, 4-2 win versus Seattle. Go on the road and defeat the rival Calgary Flames 3-1 on the 20th of January. Come on back home and beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 4-1 on the 23rd. And then most recently on the 25th of January, 3-0 win versus the Chicago Blackhawks. Pickard got the start, went 27 out of 27, earned the shutout. Now, taking a look inside the numbers, this is also not going to come as much of a surprise, but with this 15-game winning streak, the metrics and the rankings for the Oilers across the board have absolutely skyrocketed. They are trending in the right direction in every single way. The Nashville Predators are scoring 3.02 goals per game. That's 18th in the league this year. The Oilers are generating 3.5 goals per game. That is 4th. In the shots against, goals against category, 3.08 for Nashville is 16th. This is the first time this season we've seen the goals for and goals against metrics starting to really slip for the Nashville Predators, and the margin of error getting narrow as ever, but now being on the negative side. The goals against for Edmonton also impressive. 2.80 is 8th best in the NHL. Shots for Nashville, 30.8 is 16th. 34.1 shots on goal per game for the Oilers is 2nd best overall in the National Hockey League. In the shots against category, the Oilers not far behind that, 4th best in the league, giving up only 28 per game, while the Preds are giving up 30.2 per game. Their ranking is 15th. On the special teams, well, frankly, the Nashville Predators do not match up in either of these categories in any way. Let me give you the Preds numbers first. Power play, 19.8%. Conversion rate is 19th in the NHL. 33 scores on 167 opportunities, while the Edmonton Oilers are converting at 26.3%. That is 5th best in the NHL. 36 conversions on 137 power play opportunities. When it comes to the penalty kill, the Preds killing off 76.8% is 25th in the NHL. They were trending upwards for a while, but now have sunk in recent weeks back down to the 25th position. They've given 36 power play goals against on the season. The Edmonton Oilers, 82.7% kill rate is 8th best in the league. 26 power play goals given up on the season, 10 less than the Nashville Predators. Of course, you're going to recognize all of the names when it comes to the Edmonton Oilers individual statistics, and it is not surprising one bit to see Connor McDavid leading the team in scoring, 19 goals, 44 assists, 63 points overall. Draisaitl, 22 goals, 32 assists, 54 points. Both of them torment the Nashville Predators. I know they torment everybody across the league, but they have a particular joy for tormenting the Nashville Predators and have very good careers so far against this Nashville team. Hyman, 29 goals on the season, 17 assists, 46 points. Bouchard, 11 and 31 for 42. Nugent Hopkins, 11 and 31 for 42. So the Edmonton Oilers' number 5 scorer would be the Nashville Predators' 2nd place in scoring. Over on the Nashville Predators side of things, Philip Forsberg back on the score sheet, 23 goals now on the season, 27 assists. That's an even 50 points, and those 50 points means he is 19th overall in the National Hockey League in scoring in total points. O'Reilly's at 17 goals and 25 assists for 42 points. The captain Roman Jossi's at 10 goals and 32 assists for 42 points. Nyquist, 12 and 25 for 37. Colton Sissons still at 12 and 12 for 24 points overall. Expected and anticipated goaltending matchup sees Skinner in net. I told you the Edmonton Oilers took them a little while, but they got things situated, and Skinner is putting up some impressive numbers this season. 22, 9-1, a .908 save percentage, a 2.49 goals against average, has 2 shutouts on the season. UC Saros, 19, 18, and 1, a .904 save percentage, 2.91 goals against average, 2 shutouts on the season as well. Those 19 wins represent 6th best in the National Hockey League for UC Saros, who is trending back in the good direction. That's got you all set up. This is a pivotal Western Conference playoff race matchup game. Yes, it's game 49 of the season for the Nashville Predators, but the Edmonton Oilers began a 15-game win streak and coming from well outside the playoff picture to now being solidly in the playoff picture. Well, they have displaced everyone else in the field by one position. So the Nashville Predators, this is critical. They can win the season series. Currently 1-1 on the season. They've picked up 2 out of 4 points. They've been outscored 8-6. They haven't met since November the 4th. The Edmonton Oilers are certainly a much, much different team. That's going to get you all set up for the Nashville Predators, the Edmonton Oilers on Saturday afternoon. We've got the Rebirth Sports full game recap coming up after this. We got to go back to Minnesota. We've got to find out what happened on the ice there. Back after this.
Hockey players are as unique as the game itself, and your uniform should be tailored to fit you. Rebirth Sports is your sports apparel tailor. From shells, bags, warm-ups, hats, hoodies, branding, and more, let Rebirth Sports be your custom hockey tailor.
And don't forget to tell them they do more than just hockey.
Rebirth Sports on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Rebirth Sport, a match made in hockey.
It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to January the 25th of the year 2024 when the Nashville Predators were in Minnesota to face off against the Wild. Head coach Andrew Burnett deployed his lines and defensive pairings in the following way: Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Nyquist, Novak, Glass, and Evangelista, Trennan, Sissons, and Gurionov, Smith, McCarron, and Sherwood, Yossi and Fabro, McDonough, and Shen, Luzon, and Carrier, your defense pairings. The UC Saros gets the start in net. We are 49 seconds into the first period in Minnesota, and it's Gustafsson coming in with the first save of the game on Jeremy Luzon from a long distance. 1:10 of the first period. It's McCarron deflecting a puck into the net. Ruled no goal after a huddle-up conference. Synchronized huddling, if you will. If you saw the optic, you'll get the reference. The call was reviewed, and it was upheld, deemed to be no goal for a high stick. Still have questions about this one. It really, really looked like it might have been a good goal, but we move on. 1:37 of the first period. Now UC Saros comes with a save on Boldy. 2:53 of the first period. Saros comes with a save on Bogosian. 3:49 of the first period. It's Gustafsson back to work, coming with a save on Yakov. Trennan. 6:41. Gustafsson another save on Nyquist at the 8:39 mark of the first period. The teams are exchanging chances. UC Saros comes with a save on Freddie Gaudreau. Yes, that Freddie Gaudreau, the only Nashville Predator in franchise history to have a game-winning goal in a Stanley Cup final game. As a matter of fact, he's done it twice. Resuming the game recap, 9:25 of the first period. It's Gustafsson coming to the save on O'Reilly at the 10:40 mark of the first. It's Gustafsson, another save on Sisson. Gustafsson at 12:36, though. A save on O'Reilly, 13:47. Bogosian, under intense pressure of the Nashville Predators, picks up a 2-minute penalty. This is for roughing. Gustafsson would have to come up with one save on Alex Carey, but that would be it for the Nashville Predators power play. Minnesota PK doing a very strong job right here on the first special teams scenario of the game. 16:34 of the first period. UC Saros comes up with the save on Goligoski at 16:53. Saros a save on Kaprizov, and at the 19:08 mark of the first period, it's UC Saros coming up with one more save on Bogosian. The Nashville Predators would outshoot the Minnesota Wild in the first period, 11-6, but it would be the Wild, and it would be the Nashville Predators getting the only power play opportunity, unable to convert. We're on the clean sheet of the second period. We're 3:32 into the second, and that's UC Saros coming with a save on Foligno's backhand. Now we're at the 5:49 mark of the second period, and it's Glass off the box. 2 minutes for tripping on Hartman. Maybe a little bit of a sell job right here, but he earned the power play for his Minnesota Wild team. That's right, former Nashville Predators are all over this game. UC Saros dials in for one of his strongest sequences of the game. He comes up with a save on Matt Zuccarello, who usually has very strong games against Nashville. President Saros comes up with a save on Boldy. Then another save on Freddie Gaudreau. And then Saros comes up with not one, but two saves on Goligoski as he jams the net and follows it up for a secondary opportunity. UC Saros standing strong for 5 saves on this power play. At the 8:30 mark of the second period, Gustafsson comes up with a save on Tommy Novak. At 9:07 of the second period, Gustafsson coming up with a save on Luke Shen's long shot. Then at 10:07, the middle point of the game, we see Alex Carey off the box. 2 minutes for holding, putting the Minnesota Wild back on the power play. It's UC Saros Saros coming with a save on Faber. And then with just 10 seconds to go in the penalty kill, it is Ryan McDonough off to the box. 2 minutes for playing the puck over the glass. It was just the perfect setup for McDonough. He had the puck on his stick and plenty of room to dump it down the ice, and he just found the other side of the glass for the crowd. This creates a 5-on-3, but only for 10 seconds. The Preds are easily able to kill off that 10 seconds, but on the 5-on-4 that ensued after that, it was Eriksson Ek breaking through. 21st goal of the season was a deflection of Kaprizov's shot. That gives the Minnesota Wild a 1-0 lead. A first goal of the game goes to Eriksson Ek on the power play. 14:42 of the second period. It's UC Saros coming with a save on Middleton at the 14:44 mark of the second period. It's McCarron versus Middleton. 5 minutes each. The Nashville Predators definitely looking to change the energies. It did not take much to get McCarron to engage in this fight. So they are each off to the box 5 minutes apiece. Less than 1 minute later, that was at 14:44. Now we are at 15:37. We see Smith picking up a penalty 2 minutes for elbowing, but he's also going to add 5 minutes to that, as Bogosian is going to pick up an instigator penalty and also add 5 to that. In total, each player 7 penalty minutes and no manpower on the ice affected. So 2 fights for the Nashville Predators in just under a minute's time here in the latter parts of the second period, trying to change the energy, trying to change the dynamic of this game. At the 17:37 mark of the second period, UC Saros coming with a save on Faber. At the 18:22 mark of the second, it's Kaprizov off to the box. 2 minutes for hooking. Gustafsson would have to come up with a save on Colton Sisson's backhand scoring opportunity, but that would be the only opportunity for the Predators on this power play to end the second period. Minnesota now out shooting Nashville 17-15. Remember, Minnesota only 6 shots on goal in the first period, now up to 17 shots on goal. Many of those coming on that power play at the 5:49 mark. And the Minnesota Wild also picking up the only goal of the period, now leading 1-0 as we flip over to the back of the sheet and we start the third period. We are 1:11 into the third period. It's Gustafsson coming up with a save on Colton Sissons at the 1:21 mark of the third. It's UC Saros coming up with a save on Rossi's deflection at the 1:44 mark of the third period. The Nashville Predators finally find a way to break through. It's Alex Carrier getting a small measure of revenge against the Minnesota Wild as Trennan makes a great pass across the zone. Carrier was all alone on the weak side, and he goes for the snipe top corner, getting the Nashville Predators on the board. Carrier's 4th goal of the season. We've got a fresh hockey game, 1:44 into the third period. We're tied at 1 apiece, but at 2:19 of the third period, it is Philip Forsberg, who has been in a drought and needed a goal in the worst way. He found a way to break free of the coverage just enough and deflect a Roman Josi shot into the back of the net. So 2:19 now of the third period. Forsberg's 23rd goal of the season gives the Nashville Predators a 2-1 lead. So trailing to start the third period, 2:19 into the period, now leading by 1, 2-1. At the 5:58 mark of the third period, it's Gustafsson coming up with a save on Shen at the 7:19 mark. Guryanov hits the crossbar, had an opportunity perhaps to put this game away, could not do it right here though. At 8:55 of the third period, it's Gustafsson coming up with a save on Colton Sissons at the 10:59 mark of the third period. It's UC Saros coming up with a save on Broden at 11:34 of the third period. It's Captain Roman Josi coming up with his 10th goal of the season. It was a long shot that comically went off of the defense, actually got caught up in the jersey of the defense, and then fell and went into the net. So the Captain Roman Josi picks up his 10th goal of the season on a long shot, throwing it directly into the traffic and getting rewarded. The Predators now hold a 3-1 lead after starting the period down 1-0. At the 12:46 mark of the third period, it's Gustafsson coming with a big save on McDonough. 13:24, Gustafsson keeping his team in it by coming up with a save on Luke Evangelista. At 14:35, UC Saros back to work, coming up with a save on Brodin. At 14:41, it is Luzon off to the box. 2 minutes for tripping. Looked like he might have gotten the stick caught inside the blade, but that is considered tripping. The referee on top of it right here. after, and everybody just kind of looks up and says, what can happen here? UC Saros comes up with a save on Kaprizov, and then Boldy scores for Minnesota, 16th goal of the season. A really slick play as he just stepped to the middle of the ice, picked his spot, and ripped it. A really strong snipe by Boldy for his 16th goal of the season. That gives Minnesota 2 goals, but the Nashville Predators still have 3. We would hit the empty net scenario after Gustafsson comes up with a save on Sissons. The Nashville Predators would not be able to hit the empty net. The Minnesota Wild would not be able to generate any further pressure on the Nashville Predators with the extra attacker, and the final seconds would come to their expiration at a very, very slow rate over those final 5 seconds. The Nashville Predators would secure the victory 3-2 in this game in Minnesota, and they would outshoot the Wild 28-24. There is no doubt about it that UC Saros kept the Nashville Predators in this game through the first half of the game, especially that sequence on the power play with 5:49 in the second period, coming up with 5 saves right there. I thought that UC Saros had a really strong bounce-back game. He was really good in the third period when he needed to be as well. Not the heaviest of workload, 22 out of 24 for UC Saros in this game. For the Nashville Predators, a really good, strong come-from-behind win. The Minnesota Wild are a 7th-place team, and they're not a great team, but they have been playing good as of late, and that was a good win for the Preds, coming back from down 1-0, scoring 3 times in the third period, and then hanging on to win there at the end. That's going to do it for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We'll be back with more analysis, box score, and the rest right here on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
Hello. I'm Tracy, owner-operator of Strong Style Fitness. And that's me and my training assistant, Rizzo. And we are here to bring you fitness that meets you where you are by offering circuit classes, bar-inspired classes, Tabata workouts, boot camps, guided stretching, and more, all taught by a certified personal trainer, me. To learn more, go to our website, strongstylefit.com. Subscribe on YouTube at Strong Style Fitness. Follow on social media at Strong Style Fit. But most importantly, let's get you moving. It doesn't matter if it's your first workout or you've been doing it for years. Strong Style Fitness has the workout that meets you on your journey and helps you along the path to a happier, healthier life. I understand where you've been, what you were going through, and where you were going, and I want to take you there. We'll see you on the mat. Mwah.
Welcome back in Renegades of Puck podcast. That was the Rebirth Sports full game recap. This is the full game analysis of the Nashville Predators victory in Minnesota over the Wild 3-2. We always like to start with the goaltending position. UC Saros was 22 out of 24 in this game. Gave up 2 goals against, made 8 power play saves. It was overall an outstanding performance, and you have got to absolutely point out the second period. 5:49 of the second period, glass went off to the box, 2 minutes for tripping. UC Saros comes up with 5 saves. He was dynamic. He was putting all of the tools on display. 8 total power play saves in this game. Light workload overall with just the 24 shots against, but it was a high-quality night for UC Saros in net. In his last 6 games, he has a .930 save percentage, a 2.05 goals against average, and he seems to be back on track, now 6th in the NHL in wins. He's had 2 serious dips in this season and 2 times where it's trended upwards. Now, let's see if it continues trending up this time, as the Nashville Predators are definitely going to need his goaltending performances for the remainder of the season. Philip Forsberg picks up a goal in this game. On the season now, he has 23, and he needed this one in such a bad way. 50 points is also 19th overall in the National Hockey League, which is outstanding. See that the Nashville Predators do have a top 20 scorer in the NHL, and he truly needed that one. Great job, breaks free of his coverage, makes the deflection, puts the puck in the net on Roman Jossi's shot, and it was exactly what Philip Forsberg needs. He's been putting plenty of shots on goal. He's been carrying the puck. He's been in the offensive zone. He's had plenty of power play time. He just needed to get a good instinct reaction goal, and that's exactly what he does right here. Outstanding deflection. Philip Forsberg back on the score sheet with his 23rd of the season, hopefully. And typically, once we hit February, which is coming up here very shortly, shortly, this is the time of year that Philip Forsberg absolutely takes off and starts piling up goals. The captain, Roman Josi, had a goal and an assist in this game. We just talked about the assist on Philip Forsberg's deflection. The goal, almost comical, gets lost in a jersey for just a second, then finds its way to the back of the net. 2 points for the captain, but also it continues well beyond having 2 points in this game. 3 shots on goal, 3 block shots, 3 hits, 23-43 in total time on ice. That's a big-time performance by anybody in any game at any time. A goal, an assist, 3 shots on goal, 3 block shots, 3 hits, 23-43, led the game in total time on ice. That is a big-time performance from the captain, Roman Josi. Alex Carey picks up a goal in this game, and you got to say that's a little bit of sweet revenge for the Kaprizov hit that happened back at Bridgestone Arena. We all remember that incredibly dirty hit. Good job by the broadcast bringing that up and showing that again last night because it was incredibly dirty, and I'm still a little bit mad about it from earlier season, but Alex Carey picks up the assist from Trennan and fires snipes there right below the upper 90. A really, really great shot by Alex Carey. Great to see him back on the score sheet. Great to see him getting a little bit of revenge against the Minnesota Wild. More important to get the goal and get the victory than anything else when it comes to payback. Ryan O'Reilly had 2 assists in this game, 20-03 in total time on ice. Sandpaper. He brought it last night. He was in people's faces, and he was not a happy customer out there on the rink. Love to see when a good blue-collar effort like that comes to play from Ryan O'Reilly. 2 assists in the game, 20-03 time on ice, and again, he was involved all night long. Loved seeing him take that Minnesota Wild player all the way to the corner. And it was good to see the Nashville Predators overall bring a good physical element to this game. A couple of fights, a couple of scraps. It really did turn the energy for the Nashville Predators and help them with the 3-goal comeback there in the third period. Let's hear from Stripe Digital Solutions, then we'll talk about the good cold hard numbers known as the box score coming right back on the Renegades of Puck podcast.
The digital environment can be quite intimidating, time-consuming, and cumbersome, especially with all those other areas that need attention at your business, and that's why Stripe Digital Solutions is here to help. I know because that's exactly what Stripe Digital Solutions did for me and the Renegades of Puck. From designing my home website and helping me create my merchandise to special event posters, brand building, and social media management. But it's not just that, it's so much more. Stripe Digital Solutions has helped me every step of the way. From startup to full-time operation, Stripe Digital Solutions has been there to assist and advise every single step of the journey. In today's fast-paced world, the path to success is having a strong digital partner, and nobody is better in the trenches than Brandy and Stripe Digital Solutions. Get the solution before it's even a problem with Stripe Digital Solutions.
Welcome back in. Let's talk about the box score, the good cold hard numbers, the goal scorers for your Nashville Predators. Let's go right down the line. Philip Forsberg had 1, Alex Carey and Roman Josi also with goals in this game. When it comes to assists, Ryan O'Reilly had 2, only Nashville Predator with 2 assists. Gus Nyquist also chips in with an assist. Yakov Trenin gets an assist, and the captain, Roman Josi, also has an assist in this game. When it comes to shots on goal, Colton Sissons led the entire team with shots on goal with 6. A great job by Colton Sissons in this game, being in and around the offensive zone, buzzing all night long. Luke Evangelista also had 3 shots on goal, but kind of puzzling the way Luke Evangelista is approaching the net right now. Something's not quite right about his game, but this is the box score. So 3 shots on goal for Evangelista. Good job right there. Alex Carey had 3 shots on goal. Roman Josi had 3 shots on goal. Ryan McDonough also chipped in with 3 shots on goal. When it comes to block shots, go right to the defense core on this one. The captain, Roman Josi, led the team with 3 block shots. Carrier and Fabro had 2. Luzon and McDonough also had 2. Give Shen 1. Every one of the defenders for the Nashville Predators putting the body on the line and sacrificing, picking up a block shot in this game. When it comes to the physical component of things, Sherwood led the Nashville Predators with 5 hits in this game, and then it was Luzon with 4, Josi with 3. No other Nashville Predator was above 2 in this game. Philip Forsberg was that player that had 2. When it comes to time on ice leaders, no surprise to see that O'Reilly had 20-03, and no surprise to see that Sissons had 21-28. A lot of good competitive hockey out there, and those 2 players are very reliable. 19-27 for Philip Forsberg. On the defensive side of things, because of some penalties, you saw some of these numbers get skewed. 23-43 for the captain, Roman Josi. 22-33 for Ryan McDonough. 20-43 for Jeremy Luzon in this game. When it comes to the power play, time on ice, 3:24 for Philip Forsberg, 320 for the captain, Roman Josi. The power play went 0 for 2 in this game and was unfortunately yet again rather ineffective, and now has dropped down to 19th in the NHL. When it comes to the penalty kill time leaders, penalty kill was 2 out of 4. They gave up 2 power play goals against the only 2 goals the Minnesota Wild were able to score in this game. Penalty kill time on ice leaders, 311 for Colton Sissons, 252 for Cole Smith, 156 for Yakov Trenin, 246 for Luzon, 246 for McDonough, and 223 for Luke Shen. UC Saros, not the heaviest workload, but an impressive night overall. 22 out of 24. He gave up 2 goals against. 8 power play saves, 14 even strength saves, no shorthanded saves, and overall an in-game save percentage of .917, which is above where his current season average is. Some other numbers falling out of the box score right here. Face-off winning percentage, 48.3%. Do not like when it's under 50. 23 hits for the Nashville Predators. 15 block shots, 3 takeaways, and 3 giveaways. I do like the 23 hits. Good physical game for the Preds. And again, we talked about it earlier, how the physical component helped bring the Preds some energy there at the end of the second period to help them win this game in the third period. That's going to do it for the box score. The Nashville Predators did what they had to do. They secure the victory, and that's got you all caught up on exactly how it happened. Now, let's close this thing out by saying this is the simplest thing of all. The Edmonton Oilers are on a 15-game winning streak right now. They are soaring. They are surging. They have more confidence than you can possibly imagine. They have some of the best offensive dynamic players in the entirety of the world when it comes to the sport of hockey. So for the Nashville Predators, it's as simple as this. Let it all hang out. What's the point? You go in there and you're either the 16th victim or you're the team that breaks that streak. You're 1-1 against the Oilers this year. You've already secured a victory on that rink where they have only lost 6 total times this season. So go in there and play hockey. Play the glorious game. Go out there and simplify everything. Skate, pass, shoot, hustle. Keep repeating those 4 things and keep working throughout the game, and you can secure a victory in Edmonton. The Preds just did it back on November the 4th. Now, these 2 teams are not the same teams that they were back in November. The Edmonton Oilers are drastically better, but the Nashville Predators have every reason to believe that they can go in there and in a one afternoon game have a puncher's chance at getting out of there with 2 points. For the Preds, let it all hang out. If you become the 16th victim, nobody's even going to notice. They're just going to talk about how great the Oilers are. And if you break the streak, they're going to give you at least a little bit of stick taps, a little bit of love, and a little bit of respect, which is what you would deserve if you win the season series. And the importance of winning the season series, taking 4 out of 6 points from the Edmonton Oilers in the head-to-head matchup, is how that will influence the playoff race, the wild card race, or whatever race the 2 teams end up in as we go through February into March and the beginnings of April. It's closer than you think. And the Nashville Predators are incredibly competitive and right there in the middle of it. So these 2 points against the Edmonton Oilers are very important. Go in there, let it all hang out. Let it fly. Just go play some hockey. Go laugh. Go smile. Go have fun. What's the worst thing that can happen? You lose 6-1. You've already done that to the Edmonton Oilers this year. You've done it plenty of times, Draisaitl and McDavid along the way. So go out there, play your game, have a good time, let it all hang out, win a game. Why not? Who says you can't? Don't be the 16th victim. Be the streak breaker. You got this. Trust me, we're all going to have fun watching it from back here in Nashville. So let it all hang out, Preds. Go to Edmonton, pick up the victory, and move on to Ottawa. We'll be back here in the bunker pretty early tomorrow talking about it. Looking forward to it. I hope the Nashville Predators put up a big performance, and I hope we have a really great show and a lot to talk about. That's going to do it for Operation Number 862. I've given you a whole hell of a lot of information. I'm sure to appreciate the absorption rate that you guys are able to pull in all that info. That's going to do it. I've talked enough. Operation 862 is in the books. I'm your host and Captain Crazy Charlie Saunier. Stick taps, love, and respect.